Right. Hello everyone. Here we are back with another track guide. This time it's for the big one. It's for the Spa 24 hours in 2022 on iRacing. We are in the Mercedes 2020 EVO. First time this car will drive the 24 hours. Let's have a look how this looks like and see how the car does. So here we are at the start of the lap. Just going up to the last chicane. Got the car loaded with fuel, so we can go almost an hour on the tank. Are up, especially in qualifying for good exit here. We're going to turn 1, try to get all the way to the left side. I just set the car for good exit. And we got the long run up to Le Con through Rouge, which will be easy flat. Radio, easy flat. No problem at all. Big run to Le Con. And a real lap starts. Close to the exit off track here. As close as we dare. Go on. Always tricky on low downfalls. Small pedal inputs here. Try to hit the curb on the inside. Try to set up for a good exit. We got sector 3, run it through Blanchiment. Again, should be easy flat in these cars now. Can be a bit tricky with the rear because we've trimmed out all the downforce. That's bus stop, need to be very careful. Get good exit out of here. That's the lap. Run Spa Francorchamps for the 24-hour race. Right, so here we are at the start of the lap. Of course, in qualifying, you'll want to use all of the track on the right here to get yourself a good run. For the race, we just want to take the apex. We can run to turn 1. You want to get over to the left side early. If you get over to the left side early, you've already got your car lined up with the white line. You can start focusing on the braking point, turning point. My braking point is about a couple meters before this first tire mark on the road. And what we want to do for turn 1 is we want to brake very long in a straight line. Get a lot of turning done before the corner and try to set up for a really fast exit. So turning in really late. Getting to the apex, and what I want to use here is the dip on the inside. I want to use where the track starts going up again for traction on the car. So we want to start building on the throttle, and once I'm in this dip here at the lowest point, I want to be full throttle. And my goal is to keep it full throttle without going into the TC too much. So the more I can avoid the TC, the more I can straight line it out of this corner, the better exit I'll have. And that is really important because, again, once we have the exit here, it's easy flat all the way to Le Con. So any speed we can take out of turn 1, we take all the way up the straight here. And 1 or 2 kilometers extra on the exit there will give you a couple hundreds on the whole straight. So Rouge Blanchiment is easy flat, it's not even a corner anymore. Then we get to Le Con. In Le Con you've got 2 options. What I prefer is getting my car not completely on the side of the road, so not exactly on the white line, but slightly further towards the right, with an angle to start braking onto the curb. The other option we have is getting a car lined up on the white line and braking in a straight line. And both have their advantages and disadvantages. The big advantage of this line is that you can use all of the curbs, so you have a bit more track that you can use on a corner entry. The disadvantage is that you're not braking exactly in a straight line and your car is still pointing towards the outside of the track, so I have to do a bit more turning. So let's try to brake on the curb. I try to brake just after the curb starts here. So just after I've got onto the curb. Keep it in third. Want to use this the brown bit here on the top of the curbs. Use that as much as possible, get close to the grass as you can. And small tap on the brake here gets the car rotated into the left-hander, which is important because after we've got the left-hander, we want to slowly go into the throttle. That keeps a rotation in the car. Slowly go on throttle, and you want to get towards this white line here on the left side. We don't want to go on this curb. This curb is very slippery, so we want to get towards it within like half a meter. Doesn't matter exactly how much, as long as we get towards this white line to open up the right-hander. Get towards it here. And then what I like to do is a small lift here, just after I've started turning in, and a small lift puts a bit of weight to the front, gets my car around the corner well here. And then on the exit, we can go all the way on the curb here with our right side tires, can go all the way on this curb. Before we get to where the curb ends here, the red and white curb, we need to be back. Keep your car all the way to the left here. Next corner you can take in third gear, but what I like to do is in second gear, it gives a bit more rotation, but it also makes the rear slightly easier to lock up. So both work. I like to do second gear personally. Third gear can work too. I brake where the curb starts on the left side and slowly start making it towards the inside, and then be very slow with your inputs here. You need to be very patient throughout the corner because the camber is slightly negative, meaning that it runs slightly towards the outside and the car tends to understeer quite a lot here. So you need to be slow coming back into the throttle. Careful as well if the rear stepping out on traction here. And on the exit here, most important thing is lining the car up well for no-name. You can take a bit of curb on the exit here, but it will make it harder to get your car lined up for no-name. So I don't like going too wide here. Just get out to the right side here easy. And then you want to have your right side tires close to the top of this curb. You don't want to be on this green part because that will make the car understeer and you'll have problems trying to even keep it out of the wall. So you want to make it close to the right side here. Slow braking and then try to focus on getting a good exit. With the Mercedes I found I can take the inside brown curb here again and then let the car run out. And you can let the car run out very wide here with the left side tires onto this drainage here. Try to do that for a good exit. Then we got pull-on. Pull-on's always tricky because we try to run the car on low wing here. What you want to do, right side tires as far up on this curb as you possibly can, close to this the grass here. Unlike the last corner, you can dip the tires slightly into the grass. Let's see if I do it now. But if you get like your right side tire a couple centimeters on the grass here, you won't feel it too much. Of course, you need to be careful. It's a 24-hour race. If you can't consistently do this without putting your whole tire on the grass, it's not worth it. But it's not as punishing as it is in no-name, the previous corner. Now you want to get the car rotated towards the apex. So slow on the brakes and keep the brakes going off it slowly. Get the car rotated towards the apex and then slowly start building up the throttle. If you build it up too fast, the rear might get a bit unstable. Go on easy flat after that. There's a similar situation here as in Les Combes, so after the camel straight, where you can get your car lined up on the left side here, brake in a straight line. What I like to do is angle it slightly towards the outside curb and use that outside curb to get a bit more entry into the corner. Then we brake just before the curb starts, down into third gear. And the same as Les Combes, we want to have slow inputs here, so slow both wheel inputs and slow pedal inputs. If you go on throttle too early here or be too aggressive, then the car will get upset and it will either start understeering or oversteering. Want to run it next to the curb here, and we want to end up in between these corners, right about in the middle of the track. You don't want to end up all the way on the inside. Then you have to sacrifice the second corner too much, but you at the same time you don't have to end up all the way on the right side here to open up the next left-hander. That's not needed because the straight after the next corner isn't long enough. So you want to end up in the middle here. And then what we aim for is getting our left side tires again on top of the brown curb on the inside where that starts. So where this curb starts on the inside, we want to get our tires onto that. Run all the way right, again left side tires can go all the way to the drainage here, but if you run too wide here, you might start losing a bit of grip. Get the car over to the left side. Same as pull-on, you want to get your left side tires all the way up on the curb. Getting a couple centimeters of your wheel or tire onto the grass doesn't do too much here. So you can be quite aggressive in putting all the car as close to this dirt here as you can to try to open up the next right-hander. Very important to slow down quite early here. So I'm braking before I even get to the red and white curb. Get the car to the inside. Maybe use a bit of this curb here on the inside to get the car rotated. And most important, start building up the throttle early. Because the earlier you can build up the throttle, the more speed you can carry all the way down to the bus stop. Again, the right side tires to the drainage pipe here is the off track. Want to make sure you avoid that. And then Stavolo 2 is easy flat. Just try to have minimal steering input to keep the top speed high, to scrub off as least amount of top speed as you can. We get to Blanchiment, it's the same situation. Small steering input keeps the car stable on low wing, scrubs off the least amount of speed. And we get to the bus stop. And the bus stop, surprisingly, is one of the most tricky corners I found in this car. I used this bit of sand here on the track as my brake marker. You can also use just after the white line. The white line is a bit easier visible. Personally, I use where the stand starts here and brake just before that. It's a similar situation again like we see before. You can line your car up to the left side, but what I like to do is line it up so that I end up on the curb when the curb starts. I try to keep it in second gear here. First gear makes the rear quite unstable, and second gear still has enough torque to accelerate the car enough out of the corner. Second gear, get the car over to the right side, and the same as the last couple combination of corners, you want to end up in the middle of the track here. If you end up too far on the inside, you have to sacrifice your exit way too much. So you want to end up in the middle of the track here and use this bit of camber to your advantage. So if you use this camber to your advantage, you can start turning in here already. And once you're at the apex here, your car should already be pointing towards the apex and not towards the pit entry wall much anymore. And what that allows us to do is straighten up the steering straight after this. And when we can straighten up the steering after this, we can start going onto the throttle. Again, drainage pipe on exit here is the off track. And then it's just flat out to the line. That's a lap in the Mercedes EVO around the 24-hour of Spa. Right, so that was a lap in the new car around Spa. The first time the new Mercedes will compete around here. I think it looks like a very strong option. We don't yet know the BOP when we make this video, but it looks like a very strong option for now. I wish you all good luck, and if you want to see more of these track guides, make sure to subscribe to the channel.